Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer Your German Teacher Goethe Zertifikat A2 Preparation Class. I want to show you what the writing part, Schreiben, of this test looks like. Zuerst der Aufbau. At first, the structure. There are two parts. Zwei Teile. Teil 1. The first part is an informal text message, for example to a friend. The second part, Teil 2. This is a formal text production, like an email to your boss. For both parts together, you will have 30 minutes. 30 Minuten. If you don't know how to manage your time, then you should watch the video till the end. In the bonus tip, I will show you how you should do it. Now let's take a closer look at the first part. Teil 1, eine informelle Textnachricht. So, Goethe tells you something about SMS, but I think that's kind of outdated. Just imagine you write a WhatsApp message to a friend. This is what you do here. You will get this paper here, and Teil 1 is on top of it. There is a situation and a task. Eine Situation und eine Aufgabe. And then there are 3 things that you need to include in this message. 3 Inhaltspunkte. You have to write 20 to 30 words. Now let's make an example for this part of the test. Beispiel Teil 1. Ihr Freund Lars hat Sie zu seiner Geburtstagsparty eingeladen. Schreiben Sie ihm eine Textnachricht. You received a message of your friend Lars. He invited you to his birthday party, and you need to reply to his message. This is the situation and your task. Here is what you need to include in your text message. Nummer 1. Informieren Sie ihn, dass Sie nicht kommen können. Inform him that you are not able to join his party. Nummer 2. Schreiben Sie warum. Of course, you let him know why. Nummer 3. Machen Sie einen Vorschlag für ein Treffen. You still want to meet him another day? So you make a proposal where or when to meet him. Now I will show you what this text message should or could look like. You start with lieber Lars. Lieber Lars. In case it's a female, liebe Maria. Liebe Maria, for example. And then you will inform him that you are not able to come and also why. This is hard to separate, so I just rearranged it together. Lieber Lars, ich würde gerne kommen. Leider muss ich dir aber absagen, weil ich am Wochenende arbeiten muss. Ich würde gerne kommen. Leider muss ich dir aber absagen, weil ich am Wochenende arbeiten muss. Like this, you already have covered the first and the second point that you need to include. So there's just one more to go. The proposal for a meeting. Hast du vielleicht am Mittwochabend Zeit? Hast du vielleicht am Mittwochabend Zeit? Basically, I could stop now. I covered all I need to cover. All 3 points are in my text. But I'm not really sure if this is already enough. So I write one more sentence to make sure I have those 20 to 30 words. Dann können wir zusammen Pizza essen. Dann können wir zusammen Pizza essen. Now you definitely, or I definitely have those 20 to 30 words. But there's one more thing which you should not forget. This will give you some points or reduce some points if you don't include it. Liebe Grüße, Johannes. Liebe Grüße, Johannes. So some kind of greeting. Which one you choose is up to you. Liebe Grüße, this LG is just very common. That's why I chose it. Of course, you could also write something like bis dann, bis bald. Just anything which is informal is fine. This is an example for the first part of this test, the text message. But there's one more thing which is very important, and this is the Antwortbogen, the answer sheet. If you haven't directly used this paper to write your text, then you still have to transfer your text onto this one here. If you don't, you will get just 0 points, because the only thing that the people from Goethe Institute will judge, will give you a grade on, is this paper here. Teil 1 is completely finished. Hier kommt Teil 2, eine formelle E-Mail. You find it on the same paper like the first part, just on the lower end of it. It actually looks almost similar. It starts with a situation and a task. Then there are 3 things you need to include. 3 Inhaltspunkte. The only thing which is different to the first part, you need to write 30 to 40 words. 30 bis 40 Wörter. Let's take a closer look at the situation and task. Sie haben in einem Hotel ein Einzelzimmer für 2 Nächte gebucht. Jetzt möchten Sie etwas länger bleiben und brauchen ein Doppelzimmer. Schreiben Sie eine E-Mail an Frau Deite vom Hotel. You booked a single room for 2 nights in a hotel. Now you want to stay a bit longer and you need a double room, a room for 2. Write an email to Miss Deite of the hotel. Here are the 3 things you need to include. Erklären Sie, warum Sie schreiben. Explain why you write. Informieren Sie, wie lange Sie bleiben möchten. Inform, Miss Deite, how long you want to stay. Fragen Sie nach dem neuen Preis. Ask for the new price, because you changed to a bit longer and also to a room for 2, which is not going to be the same price anymore. Let's start to write. Sehr geehrte Frau Deite. Sehr geehrte Frau Deite. In case you have to write to a guy, to a male person, you need to adapt this. Sehr geehrter Herr Müller. Sehr geehrter Herr Müller. Ich habe gestern ein Einzelzimmer für 2 Nächte gebucht. Ich habe gestern ein Einzelzimmer für 2 Nächte gebucht. Jetzt möchte meine Frau mitkommen und wir würden gerne einen Tag länger bleiben. Jetzt möchte meine Frau mitkommen und wir würden gerne einen Tag länger bleiben. In these 2 sentences, you not only explained why you write, you also already told her how long you want to stay. But to make sure everything is understood and you also need to tell her that you need a room for 2, there's one more sentence. Haben Sie noch ein Doppelzimmer für 3 Nächte frei? Haben Sie noch ein Doppelzimmer für 3 Nächte frei? Like this, everything is totally clear. There's only one more thing you need to include. You need to ask for the price, and that's pretty easy. Und was kostet es? Und was kostet es? That's it. But to get more or maybe all the points, you still need some greetings at the end. Mit freundlichen Grüßen. Mit freundlichen Grüßen. And then your name. Markus Weinbach. Markus Weinbach. This is what this whole second part should or could look like. But don't forget, like in the first paragraph, the first part of this test, the answering sheet. Transfer your complete text to the answering sheet if you didn't write directly onto this paper. Before I give you some more really important tips how to pass this test, here is some advice for those of you who maybe have found that there are words or grammar in those 2 texts that you don't understand. It's all A2. There's no word no grammar that is higher than this level. So maybe you want to review or learn this level properly. Therefore, you can check our website. We have complete A1, A2, and later also higher level classes that follow a book. They are very structured with worksheets, listening comprehensions, reading comprehensions, everything you need in one place to actually get to this level that you need for this test. Now, here are the tips and tricks. Tipp Nummer 1, die Zeit. Of course, I want to tell you about the time management, but without a watch, you will not be able to follow my tips because in those tests, you cannot bring your phone, of course. So therefore, remember to bring some kind of wristwatch or digital clock or whatever that is not a phone that they cannot take away from you. Then there is the time management, Zeiteinteilung. Only 2 parts. I recommend to use 10 minutes max for the first part and 20 minutes for the second part. This is because the second part is formal and you need to have a bit more structured way of presenting your context. If you write to a friend like in normal life, this can be a bit more unstructured. And it's also easier for you to write. So therefore, 20 minutes for the second part. And here's another thing. If you are good in writing, you can consider directly writing on the answering sheet. If you are not that good and you need to cross out and write again and put in some words here and there, then you maybe consider writing on one of those papers that they give you to prepare your text. And once you think you're done, transfer it to the other paper, to the answer sheet. That's only some kind of advice. Okay, Satzbau, the sentence structure. In A1, no one will judge you if you start each and every sentence with the subject. Ich habe, ich bin, ich kann. Fine for A1. But in A2, you already have learned some more sentence structure and also learned some subordinate clause conjunctions, so you should use them. This will earn you more points. Those people who read and judge your paper, the text that you wrote, they will also give you extra points if you included things like this. Deshalb, aber, und, denn. That's all main clause conjunctions. And weil, wenn, das, these are the ones for subordinate clauses. And again, if you have no clue how to use them, check our website. In our video courses, everything is explained in detail. Korrektur lesen. This is something that you only can do if you still have some time, but I advise you to keep some time for this. Check the position and the conjugation of your verbs. Is everything at the right place and does the subject match your conjugation? Nouns. Are those nouns all capitalized? Did you write all the nouns with a capital letter at the beginning? These are things that you can check really fast. You don't need too much time at the end, maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes to check this. It will definitely help to do so. This is all I have to tell you about this test. Of course, the text that I wrote. There are kind of the ideal version. If you are not able to write it exactly like this, totally no problem, everything's fine, you will still be able to pass this test. Just make sure that you know your words and grammar of A2. You can also find some help in those playlists here. Alright, bis zum nächsten Mal, mach's gut, ich hoffe, ich habe dir ein bisschen geholfen. Tschüss, bye bye und auf Wiedersehen.